The moment I stepped through the front door of the crowded living room, I felt it. An invisible barrier forming between me and everyone else. My wife, Layla, was laughing with a group of friends, her arm draped casually around some man I didn't recognize. She didn't even glance my way. She dragged me here. I whispered under my breath, more to myself than anyone else. And it wasn't just the party, it was her attitude, the casual way she seemed to erase my presence, like I was invisible. I had warned her I wasn't feeling social tonight, that I just wanted to stay home. But she insisted. You need to loosen up, she'd said, flashing that smile that once melted me. Now it felt like a taunt. I lingered by the doorway for a few moments, trying to convince myself to join her, to maybe catch her attention with a smile or a joke. But the harder I tried, the more I realized how completely she was ignoring me. Conversations continued without pause, laughter rippling across the room, but not a single glance in my direction. My chest tightened. I felt smaller, like a shadow in my own life. I tried to mask my frustration, roaming from group to group, offering polite nods and shallow smiles, but the sting of rejection followed me. Every laugh that erupted from her circle felt like a knife twisting. I wanted to leave, to escape the humiliation, but something rooted me in place. The hope that maybe she would notice, maybe she'd pull me into the moment as she used to. Minutes crawled by like hours. I watched her lean closer to a man with dark hair, their heads almost touching as they whispered, and my stomach sank. My hands tightened into fists at my sides. How long had it been like this? How long had I been reduced to a background accessory in my own marriage? Finally, I couldn't take it anymore. I mumbled an excuse to a friend, brushed past the crowd, and stepped out into the cool night air. The relief of space was immediate, but so was the hollow ache in my chest. I leaned against the brick wall outside and closed my eyes, trying to steady myself. My mind replayed every detail. The way she laughed at something he said. The way she brushed her hair over her shoulder as if she wanted to be noticed. I felt like I was seeing her for the first time. Really seeing her, and it terrified me. My phone buzzed. I glanced down, hoping for a distraction, and saw her name flash on the screen. My heart lurched. Come back, the message read. I stared at it for a long moment, disbelief mingling with anger. The casual tone, the command, it felt hollow, almost mocking. I typed a response. Why should I? You ignored me all night. Her reply came almost immediately. I know. I just wanted you to see what it feels like. The words hit me like a hammer. I sank to the steps outside, gripping my phone so tightly my knuckles turned white. What does that even mean? I whispered aloud, the cool air carrying my confusion into the night. The message kept blinking on the screen, simple and unsettling in its honesty. I turned the phone off and slipped it into my pocket. I couldn't face her yet. I walked aimlessly, trying to process the raw knot of emotion twisting inside me. Betrayal. Shame. Sadness. There was something about her actions that felt deliberate, like she wanted to show me exactly how little I mattered in that moment. By the time I returned home, the house was quiet, a stark contrast to the noise of the party. I watched her move through the living room, picking up her purse and coat as if nothing had happened. I wanted to shout, to demand answers, but all I could do was follow her with my eyes, trying to catch some hint of remorse, some spark of the woman I thought I knew. Finally, I spoke, my voice trembling more from emotion than anger. Why? She turned, a flicker of surprise crossing her features. Why what? She asked casually, like I had just asked about the weather. Why tonight? Why him? Why? I stopped, the words catching in my throat. Why pretend I don't exist? Her eyes softened for a moment, but there was a detachment behind them that made my chest ache. I wanted you to feel it, Soren. To understand what I've been feeling, ignored, unseen. I've been here, Layla, I said, voice breaking. I've been trying. I've been reaching out for months, trying to bridge this distance between us, and you just pushed me away. She sighed like it was an inevitability. Maybe I did. Maybe I wanted to see if you would fight for me. I laughed bitterly, a sound without humor. Fight for you? I am fighting. Every day. And tonight, you made me feel smaller than ever. You made me feel like a stranger in my own home. She stepped closer, reaching for my hand. but I recoiled. Don't touch me. Not until I understand what happened here. Not until I understand why you'd humiliate me in front of everyone. Her gaze faltered. I didn't mean to humiliate you, she whispered. But I wanted to know if you even notice me anymore. If you even care. The honesty stung, but it didn't heal. It only deepened the fracture I already felt. I had noticed her, every day. I had cared every day. But the way she had orchestrated tonight, the way she had dismissed me in front of strangers, it was a deliberate act of cruelty disguised as revelation. I shook my head. Caring isn't enough if it's invisible to the person who's supposed to see it. I need more than your experiments, Layla. I need us to actually be together, not just living in the same house pretending to be a team. Her lips trembled, and for a moment I thought I saw regret. But then she straightened, defiant again. And what if you're the one who's blind, Soren? What if you've been ignoring me just as much, just in different ways? I felt the truth in her words, but it didn't soften the betrayal. It only complicated it, made the pain sharper. We had both been failing. And now the party was the mirror showing us exactly what we had become. I can't do this anymore, I said, the weight of the words pressing me down. I can't be part of a relationship where I have to compete for acknowledgement, where my presence isn't enough. I loved you, Layla, and I still do, but I need more than this. I need trust. I need honesty. And I need to feel wanted, not tested. She didn't argue. She only looked at me, a mixture of sadness and something I couldn't name. Perhaps guilt, perhaps frustration, perhaps the same helplessness I felt. The silence stretched between us, heavy and suffocating. I grabbed my coat and stepped toward the door, my hands shaking. She called my name, soft and urgent, but I didn't turn back. I walked into the night, the cold air biting my cheeks, each step a painful affirmation of my decision. The next morning, I found another message from her. I didn't mean for it to hurt this much. Come back, please. I stared at the words, a mix of longing and fury tearing at me. I realized then that this was the crossroads of our marriage. A moment where love and pain collided, where trust could no longer survive on hope alone. I could forgive, maybe even try again, but I couldn't forget. And in that moment, I knew some things, once broken, might never be repaired. I put the phone down and walked to the window, watching the sun rise over the city. The light felt cruelly indifferent, illuminating the distance between us, the chasm carved by our mistakes. My heart ached, but a strange clarity settled in its place. I had to choose myself before I could choose anyone else. And for now, that meant walking away, even if it was the hardest thing I had ever done.